Okay, so I'm here again talking about the coming economic collapse. A lot of what people say out there are highly probable. I listen to Alex Jones, I listen to all the great forecasters in the world, and a lot of them are forecasting plague, pestilence, disease. They're forecasting Fukushima-like disasters. They're forecasting major earthquakes, sunspot activity, polar shift, etc., etc. Mayan prophecy 2012. Very excited about that. How does someone prepare for this? Is there an economic collapse coming? Well, if any of those things happen, there will be an economic collapse, but I think an economic collapse is inevitable. The world has bought into a multi-trillion-dollar Ponzi scheme. All the real Bernie Madoffs are still in control. All the banksters are still in control of all the governments and militaries around the world. They sit on top of people while we fight against each other. So, what does that mean? Well, what I think is going to happen is the microchip, the robotic world, the drones, the Terminator-style future, the technocrats, the technocracy. The first thing that's going to happen, the financial system is going to take a big hit. That means that's going to go down with the ship. What does that mean? That means food prices soaring. That means most people are not going to be able to eat. There's going to be massive, widespread starvation. So I really care about the common citizen, and I really think that everyone should prepare for an economic collapse of historic proportions coming exactly during September, October. These 2 months are going to be the most historic months in human history. That's when all the shit is going to hit the proverbial fan. That's right, the shit's gonna hit the fan September and October. If you haven't prepared by now, you need to get moving. Stock up on food and find a good place away from mass population such as major cities, away from migratory routes where people are going to turn into refugees. Get out into the woods, stock up on food, and hunker down because a shitstorm is coming around the corner. And people need to watch out for that. I really do care about the population. I really hope that everyone listens to me. Food prices, they're going up. Fuel prices, they're going up. Gold and silver prices, they're going up. By this fall, everything, prices are going up. We're talking inflation and hyperinflation. We're talking Weimar Germany. We're talking Adolf Hitler, Nazi-type system that's going to be placed in behind the fact that the bankers have pretty much looted and robbed everybody of any wealth, true wealth, such as real estate, so forth and so on. Acquiescence. And so, what do people need to do? People need to prepare. They need to buy and store food while they still can buy it. The store shelves are still stocked fully. People still have money. The money still buys a great deal of food. Food is still very cheap. It's still very cheap. So while you have the money, while you have the jobs, while food prices are still reasonably priced, please buy it now. Remember, the bees are dying off. No more bees. There's not going to be bees in 10 years. That means you need to stock up on honey. There's not going to be much maple syrup on the shelves in the coming years. In 5 to 10 years, no more maple syrup. I don't fucking care if you got $100. You're not going to be able to buy maple syrup or honey. Real honey like Manuka honey. You need to stock up on those two items. Such a thing as real chocolate. I'm not talking the shitty Hershey's chocolate you buy at the dollar store. I'm talking the real chocolate such as the Lindt that comes from Switzerland and Sweden. And Belgium chocolate that is 99% cocoa. That shit is very expensive. It's $4 a bar. Well, guess what? By next year, that's going to be $8 a bar. The coming years, it's going to be $100 a bar because cocoa is going extinct. So you need to stock up on these expensive chocolates, Manuka honey, real maple syrup, not the shitty sugary kind, but the real maple syrup, because they're going to go through the roof. They're going to be worth more than gold and silver. They're not going to be accessible. Everyone needs to stock up on what they need, especially food. Remember, in Weimar, Germany, what people spent most on was food and clothing, not so much on rent, but food and clothing. These are necessities for survival.